I'm Dan Howard. Today we're with Scott, and you're watching On the Road with Coaster Nation. Keep your eyes on the road
and the hands in the air.
Today we're on our way back from Cedar Point. We just attended their media day for Val Raven, the longest, fastest, tallest dive coaster in the world. It's 223 feet tall. It goes 75 miles an hour.
Makes it the fastest, doesn't it?
It is the fastest.
It is also the longest dive coaster at 3,415 feet, and it has the longest drop at 214 feet. Has the most inversions at, you know this, Dan?
No, there's three.
There's three.
Upside down 3 times. So Val Raven, that when they announced it, I wasn't very excited. I thought, you know, it's another dive coaster, but there's no tunnel, there's no water feature. How fun could it be? I have to say, after riding it, everything I thought about Val Raven has changed. You get to the top of this thing, it's a view like no other. No park in the world has a view like Cedar Point. Looking over Lake Erie, from the top of it, you can see Canada on a clear day, and it was pretty clear whenever we rode it. So you could see really far out. It was beautiful. I've never been on a coaster with that view. You know, it faces directly towards Lake Erie, towards the Canada side, so that's really cool. As far as the ride itself, it was very smooth. I know in our video, if you watched it of us riding, it looked a little rough, but that was just a shake off of the GoPro mount that was on the ride. It didn't have like a rubber bushing like they normally do for media days, so it was a little bit shaky and bouncy, but the ride is really smooth. The inversions, especially the barrel roll at midway, really surprised me. It's the barrel roll. It's nice and slow. It turns you over. You get a lot of hang time, a lot of air time on this ride, a lot more than I thought. I did not expect this to be one of my favorite rides, and I wouldn't say it's my favorite ride, but it's definitely in like the top 15. What do you think about the coaster, Tater?
That barrel roll after that second drop is amazing. And there's a little feature, there's a little loop right before the barrel roll. That's quickly becoming the second part of my favorite, you know, track segment. Of course, there is a drop, which Dan said that you can see Canada. You could probably even, you know, if you look real hard, you could probably see some Canadians on the bank waving at us. But it is a gorgeous view, and then they just suspend you and hang you to look down at your death and swoop up into a giant loop. The harnesses on the coaster were really comfortable too, and yeah. I do like the fact that they have them color coded now, whereas the red safety belts are for the larger people. So if you're a larger person, then you just find one with a red safety belt, and that gives you a little bit more space in your seat and your belt.
Yeah, and hopefully they adapt that color coding to a lot of their other coasters, so it's easy to tell which are the large seats, because some of the riders are so tall they just can't fit into the regular harnesses, and there are larger seats for those people, but you don't really know which ones they are unless you ask. So this one, it's great because they are red, like you said, and you can tell right away which seat to go to. Something else really cool about the seat belts on this ride, I never saw this before. I know they usually have these in the ride-off booth, but on the outside, once you sit down, if you look up and to the right, there's a chart of all the seat belts that are buckled. And if your seat belt isn't buckled, it's blacked out. And once you buckle it, it turns green. So I thought it was kind of interesting that they're showing the riders, you know, which seat belts are buckled and which aren't.
And there was we went after we rode. We went and got some dinner. And there was a lady there at dinner that was really concerned. She heard that there was a random button on all the coasters that if the ride operator decided to go nuts, she could just hit the button and then ride be over. I did notice that there is a dead man switch or whatever that the two ride operators have to stand on, and if they get off, it instantly stops the ride. And I think that's a new thing as a gatekeeper.
Yeah, I think Gatekeeper might have had those. He's talking about the pressure mats that the ride-off stand on before they give their thumbs up for the go.
And they have to be on those pads. before the rides can go.
Yeah, they're synchronized, so each ride hop has to be on their own pad, and if they're not all on there at the same time, you can't start the ride. They have a really neat feature on this ride. They have a viewing wall with giant windows that you can walk up to the window and watch the ride go past, literally inches from the window. So you can get some really cool views and photos and videos right up against that window. Kids can, you know, it's real low, so kids can stand there and watch the coaster go flying past. And that's something you can't really do is get that close to a coaster when you're at the parks. We didn't get to ride Valraven at night, but we did get to check out the lighting at night.
It was some very interesting lighting, so why don't they, when they ride it at nighttime, drop you a line of what they thought of the lighting on the coaster?
Yeah, instead of us telling you about the lighting, that'll give you something to go look at and give us feedback on, see what you think of the lighting on the ride. They also put new lighting on Raptor, which is awesome. It's a lot like the lighting on Fury down at Carowinds.
They went with a very classic lighting on the Blue Streak. Very simple, very classic, very nice. The other thing is that new entrance from the marina and that interactive park map that shows you exactly where everything is, ride-wise, shows you where the restrooms are, shows you where the concession stands are and what they, you know, feature at the concession stands, food-wise. It was really, really neat too to play around with. Really kind of fun.
The new marina entrance is spectacular as well. I keep saying everything's beautiful, everything's spectacular, but it really is. This is the coaster capital of the world we're talking about here. This is Cedar Point. It's one of the most prestigious coaster parks, so everything they do it well, they do it big, and they did not disappoint with their new entrance. Now, they had the marina entrance before, but when they put in Valraven, there wasn't enough space underneath it to keep their former entrance, so they took the opportunity to redo it and redo it big. And it matches well. All the landscaping matches the ride and the whole Valraven Plaza area. It's very nice. And I think it'll be faster to get in from that way with the new entrance and the way they have the line set up. So and that was new.
You were also telling me that the Jet Express picks up from that area?
Oh, yes. So this year, the Jet Express is back. It's been away for a while. The park recently made a deal with the city and the Jet Express to start taking people from Sandusky back to Cedar Point on the Jet Express.
That's right. You can go to Cedar Point, ride roller coasters all day, jump aboard the Jet Express, and zoom off to Put-in Bay or Kelly's Island. You know, see what's over there, what that's all about.
So the Jet Express will pick you up in Sandusky, and this year there will be some stops on the island, such as Put-in Bay and Kelly's. But next year, they're saying since they'll have more time to plan it out, they're going to do direct rides on the Jet Express from Sandusky to Cedar Point and back. So there'll be a couple stops, but for a small fee, that's not bad. You can go into Cedar Point from downtown Sandusky, not even have to pay for parking or drive in. When Cedar Point introduces a new coaster, they do a lot of marketing and branding behind that coaster. And one of the things they do is introduce items with different companies that brand their ride, such as they have Toff's ice cream, and they have a new Valraven ice cream this year.
It's a salty chocolate ice cream. It has salty caramel and I think some sort of caramel clusters in it.
Yeah, and they also partnered with Dunkin' Donuts to make a Valraven donut.
I didn't get one of those. How were they?
They were good. It was really sweet. Had all different colors of icing on it, but it was good. I liked the donut.
And then, of course, if you're like me, it's all about the beer. And they had a Valraven beer from the Cleveland brewery called the Brew Kettle, and it was the Valraven beer. It was the Red Black IPA. If you like IPAs, it's definitely one to try. But it was pretty good. You know, pretty solid beer. Saw some cool items in the gift shop. Dan, did you see anything cool?
Yeah, they had a cool little, I don't know, like a director set. They had one of Rougarou before, and I think Gatekeeper as well, but you could build a little model of Valraven, so those were neat. They had some nice jackets this year, some fleece jackets. They had a lot of items branded for women and girls, so that was cool. They have a lot of the the newer styles out, a lot of these newer washes, a lot of foil products. So they stepped up their marketing on their.
They had those Stein glasses that looked like it was dipped in liquid metal, branded Valraven. Those were pretty cool.
Yeah, new shot glasses, of course.
Saw some candles, Valraven scent candles, which kind of smells to me like a holiday spice, like a cinnamony Christmas spice kind of a thing. But it smelled pretty good. Of course, they brought out their 5th edition of Theme Parkopoly, now with Valraven on it. Saw that hanging out in the gift shop.
And they had some cool socks. I know I saw a lot of people walking out with socks this year. I don't know why these coaster socks are such
coaster
a big
socks.
Deal.
Everybody had coaster socks.
Everybody was buying these coaster shocks.
The shocks.
I guess you put them on your car.
Wow. Either that or in a cornfield.
When we were on our way out of the park, we walked over to the marina to see if they had anything new in the gift shop. And they had these really cool woven blankets. They were, I don't know if did they ever have those before? I've never
seen them. I think they were brand new. They had classic logos and all of the updated coasters on the blankets. They were really nice.
Yeah, they had Rougarou, they had Valraven. So those were nice. They were a little pricey. But they had, I think you said
little
before,
flags,
the candles. They had, little pennants.
Little pennants for your boats and stuff. You could,
or you can just hang it on your wall.
Hang it on your wall.
Coaster nerds like to do that stuff. So they had the little flags. I think the flags were around $30. And of course they had tumblers and shot glasses and all that sort of thing. Everything was branded with Valraven. They're already ready to go. So there you have it. That's our trip report on our Valraven Media Day at Cedar Point. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And subscribe to us on YouTube. So until next time, keep your eyes on the road and your hands in the air.
Scene 1, Apple, take 2.
You can't eat chips while we start.
I was eating a chip. You started it. Yeah.
Cut.
Go back to eat my chips now. You started another video. Let's eat my chip.
I didn't know you were going to start eating chips.
I didn't know you were going to start video.
You can't have the radio on while we get videos.
Well, then hit mute. Last time you tried to turn the radio off, you turned up the AC and it was freezing.
Well, it looks like the same bike.
Oh, it doesn't look anything like a volume knob. I ain't got no socks on.
Why did you get some Valraven socks?
I thought those were gloves. That one lady was wearing them as gloves. Valraven. With no E. Because the E, they get charged, I think, per letter on their sign. So any letter they can cut out saves them like $50 or something.
Maybe the next coaster will be like gatekeeping.
No, the next coaster is just going to be called B.
Oh, because they're dropping all the letters?
They're dropping all the letters. They're just going with a
single letter.
Single letter, save them a bunch of money, and then they can use all that for, theming. I was going to say it, I'm glad you did.
And action.
Hey, it's Taylor with Froggy's Fault. We are on location, I guess. No?
Alright, cut.
This video needs more rendering.
What's up, Coaster Nation? Cut.
It's Taylor with Froggy's Fault. Got loaded the cheese. Cut. Hey, it's Tater. Froggy's Fault. Loaded up the vehicle. Got it. Headed up to Cedar Point for their media day, so we could ride their first drop coaster. So this video needs more explosions for sure, though.
I'm Dan Howard. Today we're with Scott.
Explosions. Cut. Hold on, Coaster Nation. Hands up. Railroad tracks. Don't touch the thing when I hit mute. It turns back up. Can I get a new co-host? I mean, this one. Cut.
Calling all coaster fans. We're looking for a new co-host.
Replace Dan Howard.